No, I'm not dead. Go fuck yourself if you thought that. My last video was made just 2 months ago and it's still up for all to see. Okay, so now that's out of the way, let's talk about what this video is all about. So basically, this game called The Coffin of Andy and Leyley was released last year and became very famous, and to no one's surprise, it sucks, and I'll explain why. First of, it's the most obvious of all, it has anime art style. Like serious, this is the third game in a row that I rant on that has this fucking gay art style. And unlike the previous ones, this one isn't even Japanese. It was just made by a weeb faggot on RPG Maker, and similar to Mogiko Castle, it's one of these RPG games with no battles, which obviously makes it much more boring. Not that having battles could save this game from being awful, but you get the point. So the story is about those two siblings named Andrew and Ashley, whose surname is literally Graves, which is so stupid. I get that this game is supposed to be edgy, but that's not how you do it. In fact, it makes it seem like it's a parody of itself, but clearly this game wants to be taken serious, so this sucks. The two were basically abandoned by their parents in a building during some lockdown, and they start going hungry because they're clearly living under capitalism, which doesn't work, so they decide to fucking eat their neighbor and make a deal with some demon. Sounds cool, but I assure you it's not. So they eventually escape to avoid getting caught and are declared dead. So they move back to their parents' home and sacrifice them for the same demon. That's all important that happens so far. They're still making more chapters and we'll see how they continue this uninteresting story. But the reason this game got so popular was the incest controversy. Basically, you can get an alternate ending where the two siblings fuck each other in a sort of future vision, and obviously a bunch of faggots defended this with all sorts of stupid arguments, which I'll refute now. Firstly, they say that this is just an alternate bad ending and a very small part of the overall experience, and that the rest of the game isn't like that. However, this is simply not true. There are multiple things that foreshadows this from the beginning to the end. We see in flashbacks and playable memories that Ashley is deeply obsessed with her brother and mistreated his previous girlfriend so that only she could have him, and there are dialogues that in the moment may seem like they're just incest jokes, but we see they were actually leading up to something with this ending. They also say that people only complained about the incest part but ignored the gore, cannibalism and Satanism parts, which are supposedly more shocking. However, the thing is that it's fine to depict gore, but it's not fine to depict sex. That should be obvious, and for once I'm not the only one who thinks like this, as most people understood this when they criticized this game. Next, they use the argument that our characters are evil, so it's to be expected that they do awful shit, but the thing is that they are our main characters who we should care about. If you make them terrible and unlikable, then you just fucked up the whole story. And finally, they make the gay claim that Twitter hates this game and anyone who hates it is a toxic Twitter user and shit like that, when in reality it's the exact opposite of that. It's Twitter users who support degenerate shit like this. I also can't stand how these people misunderstood why Twitter is awful. It's not because they are extremely intolerant and aggressive towards people who think differently. It's because of their actual ideology and views, since hating those you disagree with is a good thing if your opinions are correct. But I digress. The point is that any attempts to defend this game are futile, and this game is shit, and so are its fans and creators. So much so that the creators' response to the valid outrage was to make a shitty drawing of the two characters with the text "cry about it" written in front of it, which is gay as fuck because "cry about it" is a shitty modern meme that replaced the infinitely superior "deal with it." So it doesn't matter what they'll add to the game in the future because nothing can save this game. Its very existence means it was doomed to be garbage from the very start. Well, that's it for today. See you sooner or later. Whenever I think of a new video, don't forget to like and subscribe, or else I'll shove a Nike brick so far down your throat that when you crap, you'll sing fucking crock.